Hi guys, my name is Indigo. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Yes, this is the same turtleneck as one of my other videos. Yes, it's the same day. I'm efficient. Today we're going to be doing a review on the Morphe x Nikita collaboration. We have the entire box with all the makeup from the line. And as you guys know, I do not hold back when it comes to reviews. I may be funny, but I am real when it comes to these. I don't play around. So without further stalling, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on post notifications, and let's get started.
Hey, salame, babak no papier, salame, zinzalbim, salame, hey. Hey.
So here we have the Morphe x Nikita collaboration. This is what the box looks like. Now I have not seen the collection yet, but these are the standards that I'm holding it up to because I kind of have like a tiff with Morphe every time they do collaborations. One, how original is it? Typically, a lot of people do the same exact packaging and it's just like a little bit altered and it's a little boring. Two, is it the same formula as regular Morphe eyeshadows? Because Morphe eyeshadows, they're good, but they're not like spectacular. They don't give me like that like boom, like you need to have this factor. And three, efficiency. And I'm not talking about color swatches. I'm not talking about the colors. I'm talking more about like what the palette can do by itself, etc. So that is exactly what I'm going to be judging on today. So let's take off the sleeve. Now this is what it looks like. Is it upside down? Yes, it is. That is my fault. That's not the packaging's fault. And when you flip that open, you get a couple pictures of Nikita. I believe this is the pamphlet telling me all the prices. I really hope so. I don't know the prices when it comes to these things. And my computer died, so we are fully like just in the middle of nowhere like this right now. So here we have the palette and the Morphe brush set. And then you lift this and you have a little bit of the Dragun Beauty products. Now this brush set retails for $20 USD. These are all brushes exclusively made for eyeshadow and there's 7 of them in here. All 7 of these are specific for the eyes, and they are synthetic and vegan, which is always a good thing. Here they are. So I really do like the shapes that were given here. Now, like I've said in previous reviews, I am not a fan of a dense packing brush. I just think it's very choppy and it doesn't have that blended look. If you guys can see here, they're all very fluffy and rounded. They're not sharp, which means they're great for blending and giving you that really blended look. Better for the average consumer or a consumer that really likes that blended eyeshadow. Let's go ahead and unpackage just one. I'll get to the rest in a second. So this is the design. It gives me very like Hulk vibes, if that makes sense, because like the purple and the green. I will say it is not as different as some of the other brushes have been. So it's not my favorite in terms of actual aesthetic. So it's definitely not as eye-catching or as eye-popping as some of the other collaboration brushes. I do like the metallic finish on it, so it's not bad. Let's go ahead and look at the palette. Now, the packaging, wow, that is a lot to look at. I think this is definitely one of their better, more creative graphic designs that they've had. I don't know if you guys can really see it on the corner, but it has Morphe x Dragun Beauty, and that looks very nice. It looks very elegant in real life. There's no, oh, actually there is. There is a texture on the letters, so it's a little bit of a 3D print. It's not too apparent like some of the others. But when I look at this, it definitely doesn't read Morphe to me, which is a huge plus in my book, because I always feel like Morphe collections always look like Morphe collections. I don't really know how to explain it. It just looks so boring to me. This actually looks like something that I don't even know who would have come out with. Maybe like BH Cosmetics or something, but I can't really pin it down to another brand, which is really good. This is what the back looks like. This is a little bit more boring and a little bit more like Morphe, which is a little bit of a downer, but I mean, I don't really think they think much about the back and really who's gonna look at the back, but just a little tip that I had there. So let's go ahead and open the actual makeup. I always forget about the little packaging slip. Goodbye. Thank God. Okay, so I really don't like when they put the names on here because it makes my life so impossible, or when they put it on the back, like who's gonna flip their thing over to just consistently look at the back? Nobody. This is what it looks like. Now this top row, I'm not impressed. First of all, like this is what every Morphe thing kind of has, except for this red. That's a really nice red. This middle row, I'm really shocked with, especially this one shade. I don't know if you guys can see that. I should probably zoom in. This middle shade is really, really, really pretty. It has like a little swirl. We're gonna go ahead and swatch that later. The palette from here down really, really, really impresses me. These are colors that we don't get very often, especially for Morphe. I am genuinely shocked. Upon watching this while editing the video, honestly, we have seen those colors before. Like, oh, I am so conflicted when it comes to Morphe. Does anybody else like feel the same way about Morphe? Because I can't be the only one. Let me know down in the comments below. But yeah, that's just my little input now. As for the Dragun Beauty products, you do get the Dragun Beauty Transformation Powder, which I do like. I use in my photos very often because it gives like that airbrushed Photoshop look. We get this Dragon Wing liner. Oh, I didn't even know she had an eyeliner. And the Dragun Beauty lippies. Now I'm gonna finish my entire face with this entire collab. In terms of efficiency, I really like that this palette has a color story because a lot of palettes have been forgetting what the a color story is. And I'm sorry, but if you cannot make a full look with just one palette, the palette is not good. It's not user-friendly. It requires you to buy more stuff. And that is something that this palette does not do. This entire row gives you a multiple range of color stories. Obviously, this is kind of like your everyday warms, which I'm not a fan of, but you know, I can see that a lot of people do like them, so that is very practical. This also gives you a whole pink color story, blue, green. You can do a lot of different eyeshadow colors with this is what I'm trying to say, which is really, really cool. I think I'm gonna do like a red and green eyeshadow, kind of like a Christmas tree with like a little bit of yellow going on, just to see how many colors we can actually fit on my eye. I'm gonna go ahead and dip into Shigo because it's just so freaking pretty. Now, mind you, I'm not wearing any eye primer because I don't really think a lot of people do use eye primer, so I think it's best to review it in its natural state. Okay, so there is a little bit of a fallout, which is not an issue for me. I'm just gonna put a little bit of baking powder underneath my eyes just to make sure I don't get any green undertones under my eye. So these brushes are just like a little bit more firmer than the regular Morphe brushes. Pretty much like the same quality as all the other Morphe brushes. Like I said in the past before, typically when it comes to the Morphe brushes, you should really just look at the styles that they have because that's just pretty much the only difference. It's like the design itself are always gonna be pretty much the same, which is fine because the Morphe brushes are pretty decent. Okay, so this is Shigo on the eyelid. It looks very bright. It is not quite the exact same shade that it is on the pan on my eye, but one, I did not actually put a white base on it, so I'm sure that if you put a white base underneath, it is going to do that. That is a trick that everybody knows about doing bright eyeshadows. That's how you get it to like pop. But I have had some eyeshadows that you just don't need to do any prepping for, and they are very bright, so that's why I'm pointing this out. And I did notice that when I first applied like the first layer, it was very dark, and then after I built up on that, it was very bright on top. So just be aware of that. It does have like kind of like a little weird like a darkening effect when you first put it on, so you definitely do have to like work this into the eye. But in terms of working it in, it is just like any other Morphe eyeshadow. I'm not thoroughly impressed by it, but it didn't let me down, so I'm very like regular thumbs up. I'm gonna do something a little weird, and I'm actually going to put the red called Nicole. I'm gonna transition into that. This is gonna be very weird, don't even ask me. So the eyeshadows work really well on top of each other. They definitely do just cover each other right up. I was really worried that because these are clashing colors, they were gonna look very muddy, as they should, because these colors just simply don't mix. That is not the fault of this palette. But they are completely going right on top of each other, and it's either green or red. There is no in between. I really like that, especially because that is really important when you're working with contrasting colors. You don't want it to mucky up and turn all muddy green. I'm not the biggest fan of this red. It's not the brightest red that I've ever worked with, but at the same time, in the pan, it is very much a neutral red. So it is true to pan, which I really do like. I'm gonna go ahead and use the shade Nick, and I'm gonna put that in the center, see if that can just, I mean, the eyeshadow is working just fine. I just don't think it was the right undertone. I'm gonna go ahead and darken some things up with the black eyeshadow. Now, I've said this a million, trillion, billion times before. The black eyeshadow is really just what makes or breaks a palette. If the black eyeshadow is good, more often than not, the entire palette is good. Yay! Okay, cool. So this is the same kind of black formula that they had going on in the Maddie Ziegler palette. Huge thumbs up. I was really concerned that they were gonna go back to the formula that they had in the Madison Beer palette, which was not my favorite. I'm gonna go ahead and try the Dragun Beauty eyeliner. I did not know this existed, y'all. Y'all know I love my eyeliners, so I'm very picky when it comes to them. I have no idea what's going on with this eyeshadow. Don't even ask me. The glitter kind of peeks through, but it did the job, and I don't know if it's like waterproof or not, but so far, so good. That's pretty much it for all the eye stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply my mascara, fake lashes, and I'm gonna do the other eye, and then I'll be right back for the lips. Alrighty, we are back, and my hair just keeps on falling more and more down into my face, which is great because I guess I've trained them to be bangs now. And the eyeshadow is doing just fine. The only thing is that like I do have like a tear duct thing where like sometimes, I don't know what causes this, but my eye starts to like tear up and it goes upwards. And this stained pretty darkly as compared to like other eyeshadows that I normally use. Let's go ahead and try the lips now. I'm gonna go ahead and try the Dragun Beauty Dragon Blood. Like, y'all, I don't do red lips often. I don't do anything that's different from my actual just like regular nude lip because I'm not a fan of it. So let's just try something new. Like, why not? Oh, wow. Very, very, very impressed for like a red lip. That's crazy how pigmented it is. I don't think it's like the best looking lipstick on me because once again, I don't like the way different different lip colors look like on me, but this is fun and I really did just want to try something else and different that you guys did not expect. It is actually a really good formula and it feels really nice on the lips. I don't know if it's transfer proof. Let's go ahead and try that out now. Definitely not. I don't know if it markets itself as transfer proof, but so yes, this is my little Christmas makeup look with the Morphe x Nikita palette. Time for some final thoughts. The brushes were just fine. They work just like any other Morphe brush. I did like the actual design. I think it's okay. I did like the shapes of these. I think I will be leaning more towards brushes like these, so I may keep these just in my collection just to have around. Just like all the other Morphe brushes though, I don't think they're spectacular and you don't like desperately need to go out there and get them. If you already have brushes that work for you, that is just fine. They're only $20 for a 7-piece set. That is not too bad. So I'll rate that like a solid 7.8 out of 10. I think that's a pretty nice road. Now, as for the palette, I do think this is definitely one of their better, more aesthetically pleasing ones. I will kind of say I'm not the biggest fan of the fact that the inside is still black. I'm not a huge fan of just like everything just looking the same once you open up the palette. However, I will say that the shadows are finally something different when it comes to the bottom row. Top row is still very Morphe, whatever. We see this in every single one of their palettes. The formula is the regular Morphe formula. It's fine. It's a Morphe palette. You can't really go wrong with the Morphe palette. This is $30, so you are getting your money's worth when it comes to this because those are a lot of shades. Yeah, it's all right. I think I'll give this also a 7.8, maybe like a 7.5, just because I do wish that they would have given us different formulations like some of the other collabs. For future reference, I really hope that Morphe just lets go of this generic inside. Like we already see this with so many other things. We understand this is Morphe, but at the same time, this is kind of boring now. Like give us like different shapes, give us squares, give us triangles, give us something different, and please just change the inside to like literally another color besides white. It's just kind of boring. Like I already see it and I'm like, I've seen this already. As for the eyeliner, it is one of the better eyeliners that I've tried. I have no idea how much this is. It's not quite as black as my favorite one, which is the NYX Epic Ink liner and the Too Faced Better Than Sex, but I think it is less shiny than the Better Than Sex. Not quite as matte as the NYX Epic Ink liner. It is really hard for anything to top the Epic Ink liner for me, I'm telling you guys. As for the lip, this is a really nice lip formula. It does feel very hydrating, but it's not a bad lipstick. Just don't expect it to be transfer proof. So that's it for my video. Overall, I give this entire collection a solid 7.7 out of 10. Yeah. I think like 7.7 is nice. It was all right. There was nothing I could complain about, but there's also nothing that really kept my attention and was like, I need to use this. So that is all that I have for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like my art, if you guys like my energy, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys liked about this video. Did you guys think that the collection was cool? Let me know down below. And I will see you guys in the future. Bye-bye.